Oh, we're having chat, aren't we? Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for coming along. Before we commence the meeting, procedural matter we need to deal with. You may have noticed I don't have the mayor next to me, and our deputy mayor's also not in attendance. So, obviously, our mayor is an apology, effectively leave of absence by virtue of him running for the upper house election for the seat of Prosser, and our deputy mayor, who would otherwise chair the meeting, unfortunately, following the publishing of the agenda, was advised he had to attend a medical matter, so he unfortunately short notice was unable to attend as well. So, as per regulation 10.2 of the meeting procedures, the councillors need to elect someone here present, obviously, to be the chair of that meeting. So, seek a nomination to be the chair, please. Councillor Gatehouse.
I would like to nominate Councillor Sorell. That wasn't open, and I was here at 5:30, it was locked. I was going to bring it up.
Right.
That's the second time.
Thank you. So, we had a nomination of Councillor Trenish to chair the meeting, and Councillor Gatehouse. We had a second for that. Councillor Ruth, thank you.
Do I have to accept?
Yes, you do. I'll ask for those in favour. Councillor Trenish to chair the meeting, please say aye. Unanimous. I then ask Councillor Trenish to bring her nameplate with her. Would you wish to retain the government at the end?
I'll have to get up and come together if I need it, but I trust all these councillors. They're very kind to me. It's been a long time since I've sat in seat chairing this meeting or a council meeting. And we have 6 councillors present, which is great. Apologies, as the General Manager has already said, it's Councillor Mayor Vincent and Councillor Woolley. And welcome to the gallery. I just noted my old friend, former councillor, Councillor Purden there. You remember me sitting here in the other council chambers.
That was last millennium.
Well, I'm still here, and so are you. Declarations of pecuniary interest. Move on then to confirmation of minutes of the 19th of March. Councillor Reid and Councillor Reynolds. Any changes to the minutes? If there are no changes, I'll put that motion forward. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Unanimous. Mayor's report. Anything from the mayor's report? He's not here to defend it. And so I'm not able to defend it either. So anything from the mayor's report? Councillor Williams.
Who's the second? Sorry, I was.
Councillor, yes, sorry. Right, you're okay. So there's nothing from the mayor's report, no questions? If there's nothing further, then I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Any supplementary items? Council resolved that everything is an absolute majority to deal with any supplementary items, so there are none.
Excuse me, sorry, just one thing, did we have to remove 4.1, the special unit, or does that go under 4.0? Sorry, that's.
Through the chair, actually was raised just quietly then by Jess as well. I think both Jess and Councillor Rounds are right, there's actually two parts to it.
Right, confirmation of the minutes from the special council
Yes.
meeting. That's in a small print, that's why I didn't see it. Right, could I have a mover and second then for the special council meeting? Councillor Reynolds and Councillor Gatehouse. Councillor Campbell and Councillor Gatehouse. Seconded. Any changes to those minutes? If there's no change, then I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? It is unanimous. Council workshop report. Okay, just a note. Councillor, motions on notice. Motion from Councillor Posada Sorell. And that, are you going to move that? Thank you.
Yes, please, thank you.
Second, Councillor Campbell. And you have seen a report from the General Manager. Are there any comments?
Maybe anyone, or I'll go ahead then. So this is to confirm that we have been working on this already before the motion was put forward as part of the advocating and and there's been a lot of communication also with community members, so they're aware that there will be a submission from part of the council to the Senate inquiry, which just having the Senate inquiry is a great thing, so participating in it. So we see a lot of residents that have already submitted their own submissions, and they've been sharing them. And I'll do my best as well, whatever I get to share with the general manager, so that that can form the council submission.
The General Manager has a comprehensive report on what council has done today. Is there anything about council's Well, I'll put that motion, that we accept, the council's, report and the general manager's report. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried unanimous. And the second motion, the same council. We do a survey.
Yes, I need to move it.
Yes, thank you. Is there a second? Councillor Gatehouse. Any contribution from councillors on this one?
I might just make a comment then. So, just to clarify, so this motion is to receive the report that the community group has done with their survey. This is receiving the results of the survey that they've been working on for the past 2 months or so. And the report has been done in a very neutral, very informative way, which has been a great outcome for the work that they've done. Or they've been able to channel all their frustration and all the negatives that they get with the impact of aircraft noise into a very positive community work. So I comment that from this group. And I thank also the general manager who has been already using this report to advocate on behalf of our residents in his meetings with at least one senator, 4 senators. And it would be great to hear from the general manager a little bit more about that.
So you have to.
That's fine, Chair. So I've met with, in reverse order, Senator McKim, Senator Askew, Senator Chandler, and Senator Tyrrell, each of whom I've taken the liberty to hand them a copy of that survey, thinking it was in the public anyway, and I had made an assumption that you'd table this meeting, so I thought, just for the sake of expediency, provided to them. Yeah, all meetings have gone well. They're all reasonably informed of the situation, and you know, both in each instance they've had been contacted by various members of the community anyway. And I think with Senator Askew, she previously just come from a meeting that was at Ocon's, I think, on the same day. So there was certainly an awareness of the situation, and there was clearly an awareness of the Senate inquiry. So they had to advocate on behalf, and they've all recommended, which the affected residents are aware of anyway, to make sure they get a submission in to, and I know on their website, on the Senate website or the parliamentary committee website, there's already a number of submissions that have come in across Australia for this matter. So the other senators have either just directed us to the inquiry itself, or have referred us to the sort of Lions senators, if you like. So I don't think we'll be getting any more meetings, but we have written to each of the Tasmanian senators. All have responded in some way.
Thank you.
Thank you. With her council Gates.
On the air flight matter, but not directly associated with this motion, thank you to the council for advertising the dates of the consultation, Air Services consultation on their Facebook page. Air Services have some details on their own Facebook page regarding the consultation on the Hobart flight as well. So that's the community reference.
And I do believe council has done its best to help the residents or to communicate with their Services Australia on behalf of the residents in those areas affected. So, are there any other comments? Yes, Councillor.
Thank you. Yeah, just reiterating that it's a complex set of circumstances and a good example in this process. It's a good example of the way council can advocate and help community be heard when it's not directly a council, in council's, in scope of council's operations, but it's part of that really important advocacy role that we have, and it's pleasing to see us stepping through that.
Thank you. Nothing further? There's nothing further. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried unanimously. The work group reports. Could I have a move and second? Councillor Reid and Councillor Campbell. And any questions from Councillor Reid?
Through the chair, thank you. The general manager, you met with NS Tasmania. You can give me a few more details on that meeting and if there's any money coming our way.
Through the chair, no. I have a regular catch up with someone all right from Tennis Tas with a really good relationship with. And it's a case of keeping someone up to date on principally on the Pembroke Park master plan, and assisting her with her dealings with the local clubs as far as for them to consider the long term implications where they may be located and just how to help them along the path of making appropriate low cost improvements to the existing facility, because there's going to be some time before any funding is provided to build a brand new facility. So no, it's a good relationship, other than the fact that she too is frustrated that funding can't be easily located with the size required to build a new facility. But we're working together to they will form part of the user group who will engage with when you review the Pembroke Park master plan. And also they have some in-house expertise around how to assist with the more detailed site planning where it may go.
Thank you. Could I also ask about the meeting with the Sorell East landowners and representatives arranged by the planning manager?
Yes, through Chair, that was a long overdue catch up. We did it some years ago. Around basically, this is the area to the east of the Sorell bypass toward Mount Garrick, and this was a refresher review for those owners and their representatives as to the process around the review of the Southern Tas Regional Land Use Strategy and our own land supply strategy work we've done a few years ago. In that, longer term, we're considering it as a growth corridor and expansion area for Sorell, effectively being the only significant growth area for Sorell by virtue of its ability to be serviced. So with dealing with Taswater, Russell has been part of the discussions as well, dealing with Tas networks, just to try, because it's such a long lead-in time, to shore up the necessary infrastructure that may be needed to service, a 30, 40 plus year supply area. And there are obvious complications around the various owners and their representatives agreeing to an overall concept and to staging around that as well. So there's around the table agreement that should happen, but nothing has been formalised. So it's such a slow burn to get this thing to any sort of fruition that we need to engage with the parties along the way to keep them interested and keep them aware of what we need to happen in what order.
Were all the landowners present, and was that talk about the Catholic school?
We had only those landowners present that form the current growth corridor, so not all, so that sense not all landowners to the east of the bypass were there, but those impacted by our 30-year identified area were present, including Catholic Education Tas, so they're aware of the sort of high-level master plan we had done a few years ago and the need to refine that. But there was some new faces around the table from at least 5 years ago, the last time we did it, so it was a useful discussion, but they're all aware it's not only a required time frame to get it done, but the absolute need for cooperation and sharing of costs, particularly if there needs to be an overpass put in over the bypass. It's some significant costs involved in doing this. So the extent to which we can sort out the detail and get agreements that are going to stand the test of time, that is yet to be resolved.
Can I just ask, do you foresee that 20 to 30 year time frame bring forward? Personally,
Chair, it's depending who you talk to, you get different views. So, Treasury have population forecasts. There's obviously ABS produces population forecasts. There's independent consultants engaged by the government, of which this council is part of that process, doing residential supply and demand forecasts as well. And I can safely say that none of them agree with each other. So, and then Shane Wells, our planning manager, has another view, and he thinks they're all wrong. So,
difficult question.
so right, I'm not sure.
If I may add to that, the recent articles and commentary by expert photographer Lisa Benny and her, what seems to be a much more realistic take on perhaps a tipping point that we're at in terms of growth. And it'd be interesting to see how that factors in all of that mix of different views. Intrigued to hear what the Pacific Planner's view is in the.
Talking about Tasmanian growth.
Yes, but also, well, and how that plays out in the Tasmanian population hasn't been growing for quite some time, and a lot of the assumptions that our state and agency planning is based on are out of date and need a rethink because of the reality of the situation more Tasmanians leave than have since 1999, I believe. So it's a very different picture. The one we've been working with for the last 10 to 15 years.
Something to take into account. Thank you. Councillor Gatehouse.
Through the chair, could I please ask about the meeting with the regional managers, Sustainable Road Tasmania, about operations within the sector?
Yeah, through the chair, that was only a couple of weeks ago, or yeah, the maths says a couple of weeks ago. There's very limited logging I'll be doing, I'll say, the southern end of the Langton. So they'll be using, I think actually it's some coops will be in Sorell and the others will be Lawson Base. That's right on the boundary of where the two council areas join. But materials will come out south Wellington and Callaway Road. But it's comparatively low length in terms of the area and tonnage coming out. But
Plantation, different.
oh, I don't know that chair. I could
So
say.
there is, there's quite a bit of plantation to
Yes, I'm not sure. But it's just effectively a courtesy meeting that he called to make sure we're aware of the activity, but also from our road operations, and we can try and get ahead of it and do a before and after inspection with them to make sure that if there's any increased wear to our road network, that rectify that before they disappear.
Thank you.
Councillor Reid.
Thank you, Chair. Again to the General Manager, the Southern Tasmanian Regional Land Use Strategy State Play Workshop. Again, more on a statewide or regional level, is there anything, where's that at basically?
Through the chair, that is a loaded question, Councillor Reid. It's just been a slightly frustrating in that the Southern Councils have partnered with the state government to deliver a review of the Southern Tas Regional Land Use Strategy, and we've engaged a planning coordinator as each of the regions has, and we've made very, very good progress with trying to achieve the requirements of the grantee that we've entered into with the state, so they're funding the bulk of this project over a couple of years. But we've progressed it where Ethos, the principal consultant, engaged to do not only the state of play report, which the public will see as an informative piece, if you like. And then secondly, they're also going to be doing a review of the strategy proper, which will go to the minister, then go through a formal exhibition process. That'll be next calendar year. So there's a few little issues that need to get sorted out from a project management point of view with the state and some work that they're doing, but apart from one body of work, they're now through state growth, they're doing a statewide industrial strategy. That has caused some timing issues with us, but we're just trying to nicely get a workaround with them so that it doesn't further hold up our process. It's going to be a long overdue, significant body of work, but also have long running issues for the South in a positive sense, just to make sure that, because the existing strategy is 2010, based on 2006 census data, so it's slightly out of date. There's an absolute appetite in the South to get onto it, and just causing some issues with the state, but it's all achievable. And I have to give credit to Matt Healy, who's been a massive help in getting the state to accord with our timing requirements.
And through the chair, a follow-up question if I may. So in reality, that means which year would you see it landing, hopefully, in terms of making a practical difference?
Well, through the chair, it should be in calendar year. So the current project plan is that the state of play report will be finished soonish and will be out for the general public comment and information. As I said, the strategy review proper will be done through this calendar year, will be at councils by the end to be endorsed as a draft, if you like, and then because it's a statutory instrument, it has to go to planning minister, which will happen by Feb. Hopefully, it will then instruct the commission to commence the notification process. So it's sometime next calendar year before it becomes a real thing.
Thank you.
Nothing further. I'll put the work group reports. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Unanimous. Lovely.
Good, isn't it?
We're up to petitions. We haven't received any. Land use planning. Do I have to read this out?
You do, please, Chair. Just you can insert yourself rather than dipping there.
I've got the deputy mayor advised in accordance with the chair advised in accordance with the provisions of Part 2 Regulation 25 of the Local Government Meeting Procedure Regulation 2015, the intention of the council to act as a planning authority pursuant to the Land Use Planning and Approvals Act of 1993 to be noted. Sorell Planning Authority minutes of the 5th and the 26th of March. Could I have a move and second, please? And Councillor Marisol and Councillor Kelly. I find it easier to call you by your first name. I'm used to that. That's fine. Any changes to those minutes? There are no changes. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Unanimous. Governments, nil. Infrastructure, nil. Community grants program. So I have a move in second. Councillor Campbell and Councillor Reynolds. Any discussion? We've had discussion at the workshop on these two community grants. Nothing further. I'll put that motion then. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Unanimous. Financial report, 2024 to date. Mover and seconder, councillor Reid, and councillor Nichols. I was just going to call you by your first name. Thank you, councillor. Now, any discussion on this? You're making my job very easy tonight. Right, well, nothing further on the financial report, I'll put that motion. Very comprehensive, as is just about every month, and it makes a lot easier, our work a lot easier. I'll put that motion anyway. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried unanimously. The capital budget adjustments. Mover and seconder for those. Right, was councillor Campbell first and councillor Gatehouse. Any comments? Councillor
Chair, thank you. Normally we're bringing in additional funds, but am I correct in reading this because this is a reduction from the budget, original budget of that?
Yeah, through the chair, the wins and the losses, if you like, the end result is a reduction to the total capital budget from the March council meeting.
And follow-up question, if I may. Is there, what's the reason for such wide variations? Is it the timing in the process or?
Yeah, through the chair, so there's two that have gone out for tender and have come back and have required an adjustment of positive to increase the budget for, but the others are generally, they're going to likely be carried forward projects, so adjusted the required expenditure this financial year. Carry forward time.
What's the timing?
And similarly, there's one for the job site where we've increased, doubled from 100,000 to 200,000, but that's still within the realms of the total budget. This is how much we think we'll spend this year in preparing the tender design.
Thank you.
Nothing further, I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried unanimously. Questions from the gallery? Good morning. Questions from the gallery?
Could I just ask the council if at meetings, should I open the door for the ratepayers around 5:30? 2 consecutive meetings now, I've been standing out there since 5:30 and it's the only time I get to see the agenda. So it saves me flipping around with pages if that happens. Would that be an unreasonable request?
Not an unreasonable request at all. I'm surprised that you want to be here so early though.
It's the only time I get to see the agenda, so yeah, that'd be great. The other thing, could I ask too, if you know that the normal monthly meeting's going to be changed, could you tell the regulars? Because neither Deirdre or I knew, and if it hadn't been for Councillor Marisol, we wouldn't have known. We would have turned up last week and wondered what the hell was going on. I don't know how you notified the public, but we didn't know about it.
We did, through the chair, we did do it, but it's at the macro level for the, so it's through through the Mercury, when we make it change to the regular.
If you just know in future that it's going to be changed, could you mention it, like if it's going to change for next month, could you mention it at this meeting, just to
It's
say?
only one off by virtue of Easter,
Doesn't
so.
happen very often.
Oh, right, no, I've never seen it happen before, as I say, I didn't know. We were told luckily, so if you can turn out,
It's because of Easter.
thank you very much.
There's just one thing here. A couple of meetings back, question was raised about a car show, which I believe the gentleman is not, had a meeting with the organising. They've also had a meeting with subject to that. A rental was mentioned, which was fairly healthy. Is there anything to be done about that? A reduction or a waiver or? It's a not-for-profit organisation. They don't really want to put a charge on the gate because that pushes people away with their cars, etc.
Through the chair, I just refer the matters to their land improvement and facilities manager. After I met with, I can't get the chap's name now. And we had, high fees for various facilities, so I need to talk with her about what that is, and ultimately would be a matter for the council if they wanted to waive it or reduce it or modify it, but I have no idea what that charge was like. I'll find out.
Possibility?
Will they put in an application, Mike, for the?
Well, they will if they'll get a favourable review, I reckon.
Perhaps if they put in the application and we can
Well, it's
look
a
at
fair
it.
way off. I think it's October or something. It's a long way off. November.
Right, through, the general manager just said through the community grant,
Oh, right.
might be a good
Yeah,
idea.
I'll let them know.
Mm. Hello.
Yeah, I'd like to just thank the council for actually accepting our survey to do the flight path, and also the help that we've actually received from Senator, it's not Marisol, Councillor, sorry.
Marisol is the officer.
Yeah. The thing is, we don't bring these things up to actually cause issues. We actually bring them up to make people aware, and we are kind of ratepayers in the Sorell Council, and we do appreciate the support we get. It's not about flights that are just coming over our heads. It's about the height which the flights are coming over our heads and our health and safety. So I do appreciate the fact that the council have actually accepted what we've actually done and put it into your minutes here today. And we look forward to, I believe that the council are also putting in a submission to the Senate inquiry about noise abatement. I think this issue is actually a bigger issue, and regulation needs to be put forward that does support corporate bodies or governments to actually act in the interests for all parties concerned. Probably haven't said too much, I'm sorry.
No, thank you, and I know the general manager has put, he certainly, as he said earlier, spoken to 4 politicians in the last few weeks, and has certainly done his best to help the
I
residents.
suppose one thing that probably needs to be mentioned is that we have seen some newspaper articles from this council that have been quoted as saying that there's only a few people that are, it only affects a few people. We're talking about, there's a lot of miscommunication out there about what is actually going on. I think it does affect more than the people that are actually, who have done the survey, and there's a lot of people in the area that are quietly concerned with what has happened. On another matter, sorry, I just need to understand a couple of processes. I've actually reported, there's been some works done down at Primrose, and I did report it as a safety hazard. The new works, I thought that they could have looked at it before the process, the footpath was actually completed, but I got an email from a member of the council saying that he would meet me there. Now, the thing is, it may be that people are busy, but I flagged it as a dangerous, the footpath has been put in, and basically in one section to do with Tamarack Road and Nareen Street, it goes across there's no footpaths, there's, Primrose Sands have got lots of very deep gullies that are actually used as water catchments, and basically they've built a little path a bit like your desk, so the actual footpath goes in a straight direction, then it goes left, right, then it goes left very quickly like a zigzag. So the question is, I've noticed that there's some unresolved reports or something in here. How long does it take for someone to address that?
Through the chair, I mean, as far as getting back to you with your particular queries, I'll chase that up. With that project though, the extent to which they've got to, they've now come across some issues with available land in the road reserve corridor to get it constructed by virtue of how unhelpful the terrain is through there.
Yep.
So that the remainder of the job was to go to Carlton, the intersection of Carlton Bluff Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
they're
right.
working out the options now if they actually will bother trying to do that, or if there's actually a road reserve where they've got to, which goes due south and joins the street that runs behind the sand dunes. I can't think of its name off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it's, I can't remember that one.
Yeah, so they're just working out sort of the path of least resistance, pardon the pun, sorry about that, as to how to get the job finished and end up with an asset that's usable and fit for purpose.
Yeah.
But
so what I'm talking about is the actual pathway. We do appreciate pathway. We need to do, with due respect, there's not a lot of work by the council down at Primrose Sands, and we actually do have a lot of people on the road that believe that it's their road. I'll say it as like that. So the speed is not part of their kind of thought pattern. And so we do have a lot of children on bikes. We do have a lot of other people, elderly people on motorised scooters, and we have quite a few people that don't have vehicles, so they're actually walking. So the footpath itself is actually very much appreciated, but I suppose it needs to be put in place. We have got, like I said, we have got deep gullies in front of all properties, and the one on Nareen and Tamarack Road, yeah, I couldn't work out why you just didn't do a corner, and if you've created this beautiful path, but like I said, the gap in the drop is about the height of your desk. So the thing is, so anyone that, walkers wouldn't have a problem, but kids on bikes, if they overshoot or come off, they're going to end up in that bugger. Yeah.
Through the chair, I have to get the braking manager to.
I've seen photos as well, but yeah, I just
I'll
thought.
make sure he does.
Sorry, and I've got one other question. Up on Carlton Bluff Road, on the corner of Carlton and Midden Road, there's been a property that's been built there and has been being built for quite a substantial amount of time, and it's still unfinished. I did contact the council some time about that home there. It looks like someone had relocated a house and then had squatters in it, and then we had almost a rubbish tip there, and the council then moved whoever was there on. The question is, when people are building homes, when is the cut-off point with, you have to and I know times are hard, homes are important, but I don't believe anyone's actually living in it, but it's still kind of in a, probably in a state of, it's in a very bad state, put it that way. And I just wondered how long, when people put in approvals to build, what's the time frame that they should have? Because I would say it's been a substantial time, and I'm talking about 10 or 15 years. It's sort of been sitting there as a.
All right, through Joe, I'll have to get details on that site, because depending on when the building permit was issued, the building legislation has changed over the years, but
Yeah.
the rule of thumb is you generally have to start construction within a year and finish within 2, but you can get that extended. But with the building permit, I think there's a limit on how many extensions we can give, but I'm not across all the details, so I'll have to find out and give you a call, or get someone from me to give you a call, let you know, and particularly about that site that's that old,
Yeah, it's.
the legislation that would have been used at that point be long since,
I mean, it's at lock-up
Changed.
stage now. I can see that it's been locked up, but, you know, we had kids in that playing on, you know, sort of stair or well spirals that didn't have railings and all that sort of stuff, so.
I'll find the details out and get someone to let you know the specifics of that site.
Sorry, I've got one final question, and that I promise. This is my second meeting. My first meeting, I did actually ask about the finances to do with what the amount of money that was put in. It seemed like no one could actually give me an answer, and I was meant to be contacted about that. I didn't actually get contacted about that revenue that was a fluctuation, but I can see what I think in the notes for this month, that your finance person has actually listed that in her notes, so.
Oh, that's
Thank
my
you.
fault. When I did the minutes for that meeting, I put the response in that, in the public question time, but failed to actually let you know. It was a slight oversight on my behalf, but that actual spike in the revenue was associated with us having to accept all of our financials recognising the value of donated assets that come into council from subdivisions. So it effectively gets washed through the operating budget and then sits in our asset register with the associated value, but we have to recognise it. So that's why it shows a massive revenue increase, but it's not cash, it's just like a by-the-line entry. So it wasn't anything to do with rates as I thought it was. It was actually the value of a group of donated assets coming to council.
So is that like parks and things, or is it the actual road and footpath?
It's more road, footpath, stormwater, because other than one park that was constructed at Pauletta Road, those type of assets that come to us from subdivisions are just basic land undeveloped, so that's a rarity that's happened there. But the vast majority is roads, footpaths, and stormwater.
Thank you.
You have, because I met you at
Yeah.
the meeting too, you have, the phone.
Yeah, I provided it last meeting, but didn't get any contact.
I'm sure the general manager will follow up.
It's in these, yeah.
Nothing else? Well, thank you. Deirdre, will you?
Yeah, I might. Okay, you know who I am. I made a little scribble note. At the last meeting, I asked about solar farms, and I was advised that there is apparently someone who was approached and got knocked back. Just out here, there's a bit of a vacant land. Could something be put there? I mean, I wouldn't want to live next to the emergency services myself. Looking around, there appears to be vacant land. Why can't the council look at that and perhaps acquire it? I mean, I believe councils can acquire things if it suits them. I don't know, just a thought.
You made a comment that the solar farm was not back. It certainly didn't come to council. It didn't get that far, Deirdre. It was
Yeah, I think Robert
on the outskirts.
mentioned that somebody had been approached but wasn't interested in doing anything about it. So is the council going to do anything about it, and why not?
Through the chair, at this stage, we don't have any intention to commence solar farming. If you're referring to the land just over the road here, that we have a longer term view of what we'd like to do with that. Council hasn't formally resolved what that will be, but we'll need to have some sort of community use to it, whether it's childcare or medical or health service or some other community use that is more likely what it will be rather than just a solar farm. So solar farming per se is not currently a priority for us, but that's not to say that it will be.
So you don't
Private
think it's,
enterprise,
sorry,
probably private enterprise, I think.
you don't think it's a benefit to the community? Not really, the rest of the people, yeah?
Well, it's not our priority at the moment, Deirdre, as the gentleman that you just said. And, I mean, we could certainly discuss it at some stage, but council hasn't got a lot of vacant land as it is. And it's highly sought after if we have any too. So we'll discuss it.
Thank you.
Nothing further. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Thank you for having us. You will again.
Secret school.